Welcome to Melissa Speaks, where we chat about feminine magic, mindset, and manifesting. I'm your host, Melissa Honey. Welcome back to another episode of Melissa Speaks. Let's chat about what we know. So when I think about what we know, I'm thinking about all the things that we already know, that we've already been guided to information that we've collected as far as when we want to achieve a certain goal. We have this idea of what we want, and we have all this information about what to do next, how to proceed. We have all the details. We have, paperwork. We have websites. We have all the things that we need, right? All the information that we need. We're having this information overload about what we're going to do, how we're going to achieve this goal, right? But even though we have all this information and we know exactly what steps to take, oftentimes we don't take those steps. So we're not taking the actions that we need in order to achieve the things we want to achieve. And why is that? Oftentimes it's because of fear of success. I mean that, if I do these things and take these steps, I'm going to be successful. What are people going to say about me when I'm successful? What will people say about me when I'm maybe rich and famous? What are people going to say about me when I have all the things that I said I wanted, when all the goals that I have set for myself to achieve are achieved? And that's kind of like, that's a fear of success, or fear of, if I succeed, now I have to show up as this person who is successful. What does that look like? That can be scary, because that changes who we are. It changes our energy, right? So then there is the fear of failure, when if I do this and I make this and I take all these steps, I'm going to fail and I'll be back at square one. So why even go forward, right? But we already know. If we already have all the information that there is to have about how to achieve this particular goal, what's keeping us? We should start taking action. So this conversation today is about taking action, and because without the action, we'll never actually achieve the goal, right? We can just we can collect information. I'm an information collector. I collect information on all the things that I want to do, right? And I have web pages saved. I have, information in my phone. I have all this stuff that I have collected, the information that I need for the next thing. And so in order to get to the next thing that I want to take advantage of, I need to do what? I need to take the action steps needed. So the next action step is what? The next action step is whatever the next thing is. We already know what it is. We've already made the plan. We already made the list, right? But we're not taking the action. And when we're not taking the action, we're kind of procrastinating. We're probably in procrastination stage, right? And we're procrastinating when we're doing that. When we're procrastinating, what are we doing? We are falling more and more behind. We're not actually getting to where we want to be. We are just kind of out there saying, "Oh, what am I going to do next?" And that's like that's like hiding out. If you're procrastinating and you're saying, "Oh, well, what do I need to do? What do I need to do?" You're hiding from the taking the actions, because if you never take the action, if you're always in the area of asking or trying to figure out what to do next, you never actually have to take action. And then you can show up as this person who is like, I don't know what to do next. What am I going to do about this? What am I going to do about that? And so you're looking for guidance, but you have all the guidance. You have all the tools. You have all the information. What's keeping you from the next step is your fear of not knowing what's going to be next. But guess what? You have to work through, even if you have the fear. So even if there's fear, you still need to take the steps that you need, because if you don't, it's going to be 6 months later, you're still going to be asking, what do I do next? What do I do next? And 6 months later, it'll be the same question. What do I do next? When you already know what to do next. And even if you don't know you may not know exactly what you need to do next, but you have an idea of what the next step is. We all do. I do. If there's something that I'm procrastinating on, typically I already know what the next step is. I already know what it is that I need to do in order to take the next step. I already know what the next step is, typically. If I don't, then I'm going to do some more research. But most of the time, we know what the next step is. And fear of success or fear of failure. We think that we have to have more degrees, more information, more certificates, more everything before we can take the next step. But you don't need it. All you need is the information, and all you need to do is to know what the next step is. And for the most part, we know that. We're already in the know because we've already done all the research. We've asked all the questions. So even though you have the feeling of the fear, and maybe it's a fear that you don't really know, you don't know if it's fear of success, fear of failure, just having overall doubt that you won't that it won't turn out the way you want, right? Even if it's that, what if the challenge is, or the task at hand is, if you would only take the next step, you would see the next step, right? After that. So you take one step and you see the next step and then the next step. You're only required to take one step at a time. You don't have to take 10 steps, but if you take one step at a time, step by step by step, before you know it, even through the fear, because fear is going to show up, and that's okay. Because without the fear, we're not gonna, if the fear means that we're changing our energy and our dynamics, right? We're changing what we want to do. We're changing who we are. And the fear is just there to say, is ego telling us, maybe you shouldn't do that. But we know that the ego needs education. We need to give the ego a new way of looking at our life, right? Because the ego is always trying to keep us safe. So it brings in the fear, right? So because the ego is that way, we know that if we re-educate the ego by taking the step, even through fear, ego will be like, oh, okay, I see that this is a new thing. And then there'll be more fear, and you'll take another step, and ego will look at you and say, oh, okay, I see that this is a new step. But all the while, your higher self is telling you that all is well, everything is going to work out for you. Everything is going with the way you want it to go, just for you. And all the lessons that you're going to learn are for you. So the idea here is that what we know is that we have all the information already. We have collected the information. We are on information overload. We have the next step. We have the list. We have the books. We have the education. We have the certifications. We have everything, all the information, all the skills, all the talent that we need to take the next step. So your only task is to take the next step, and then the next one will be shown to you. So for today, I want to say, just take the next step. Whatever it may be, take the next step. Whether you fear, that people might say, well, what is she doing out here doing that? Or what is he doing out here doing that? Or whatever. Whatever that is, just take the next step. Because if you take the next step, you'll be closer and closer and closer to the success that you want to achieve. So take the next step. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to my podcast. Be sure to follow Melissa Honey Speaks on Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeart, Deezer, and you can also catch me on YouTube.